And we are live yet again. Hey, Heather. So yeah, as usual, I'm Grizz, he's Predator, and we're the Western Canada Paintball Alliance. Welcome to the podcast tonight. Off the bat here, I want to say thank you to our supporters, Tier 1 Armaments.
Absolutely.
Great having you guys backing us there. And yeah, I know, Predator, you had some stuff you wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah, so everyone, hopefully many people know about it. It is my very first attempt at a game since my Alberta Kidney event, probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was still out at the Weekend Warriors there. Winter's Hunt, 3-part event to be planned over the next, probably the next year. So it's 3 games. Obviously, it's the winter time, so we're not going to have it too long. Maybe 40, 45 minutes each game, depending on what weather does. So essentially, there's 2 clans fighting for survival of the planet, or control of the planet. What's left of humanity, anyway. And Grizz kind of called me out on where I got my names for them. I am a closet nerd. Oh, no, I'm not a closet nerd.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
Heck, I'm one of the biggest nerds out there.
That's why we do this.
Absolutely. I used to play a tabletop battle game called Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. And I quite literally wolves, which stem from the Space Wolves. And then I've got the Blood Hawks, which stem from the Blood Ravens, which are 2 armies in 40k. So I am a big nerd. I'm probably the biggest nerd out there. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I can't claim any different, so.
Yes, Heather, I know, I'm not even close. Everyone knows I'm a nerd, because it's out there now.
I'm pretty sure it was out there beforehand, too, bud.
Oh my gosh. I think it was... What was it? It was like the 3rd outing with SAS once I joined it. Everyone's like, hey, they're talking about 40k. I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. And they're like, oh my god, another one. I'm just like, hee hee.
Could be worse.
Oh my
Everybody's
god, don't
a
get
geek
me
about something.
started. Oh, don't get me started. I probably, in my heyday, I had probably about 5,000 models.
Ooh, nice.
For tabletop battle games. That includes High Elves from Warhammer Fantasy and Tyranids from Warhammer 40k. And I wanted Lizardmen from Fantasy, and I wanted this from 40k. And it's just like, oh my god, how much am I going to spend on this? So, out of it after... Well, I was involved in it from 99 all the way through to probably 2014.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad. My parents got me hooked, so I blame them.
But,
hey, bonjour, Ben.
But we are straying off topic. You were talking about
yes.
Winter's Hunt.
Winter's Hunt. Okay, so scenario 1 is very simple, I guess you could say. Scenario 2 is even more simple. Scenario 3, no one knows what the heck is going to happen, because that's for me to know.
And because you haven't written it yet.
No, I do have it written. Actually,
okay, so you do
written.
know at this. I thought we were getting to the point where you say that even you don't know. So.
No, I do know what is going to happen. I have decided to keep it a secret from everyone, just because I want there to be a little bit of mystery about it.
Awesome, I love it.
I enjoy knowing how all of the games are supposed to play out, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't know how something is supposed to work, or what fields, like, no one knows what fields we're playing on. And that's the way it's going to stay probably until game day.
Nice.
because I'm still trying to figure out what fields will be best for which.
Yeah.
Because it also depends on, how much snow are we going to get? Because Whitehurst right now is possibly going to get 40 centimeters of snow. So, I mean, who knows what the heck the field's going to look like day of.
Oh, yeah. Last time I played winter ball, I was running around in stuff up to my knees, and yeah. I learned real quick, let other people go in front of you. Let them cut the paths. So.
Yes, it is. Yes, Heather, that is the only time I will be sidetracked. That or my wife is on the field and someone shoots her, then you better run. The last time I played winter ball, and I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'3". I was up to my waist in some spots running through drifts in the trees. So that was the fun part.
Yeah.
But like I said, just because I don't know what the weather's going to do, it's 3 games. I might throw a 4th game in there if we've got time for it.
Okay.
And basically it's player safety first and fun.
Yeah.
They have to have fun. So instead of smoke grenades, I'm going to be going with screamers or Roman candles, just to signify when objectives have been completed.
Okay.
And there's side missions. So those of you who have seen Operation Shadow from Dave here, both of us love side missions because it adds a completely different element to it, and it's something that we haven't really seen as much in this area, so it's something we want to bring in. The nice thing is the side missions are simple. They're very simple, but they take time, and that's what's going to allow people to it's not just going to be, let's meet in the middle. We'll have a big clash here. We'll have a little clash off to the side and a little clash off to the other side. No, this is going to be, we'll have clashes along every single front because there's going to be side missions that are going to cause groups to have to go in behind enemy lines and try and do this and try and do that. So it's just, it's a test to see how we can do our side missions for the event that we were discussing last episode. And B, it's about bringing a different element out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm excited but nervous at the same time. My last event, my only other event ever planned was a charity event, and I had 13 players show up. That was it.
You did the 4v4.
Well, the 4v4 is so simple. It's just like, hey, there's a cash prize, join.
Yeah, but still, it is a game that you planned, and I had fun at that one too.
Okay, fair enough. So the very first, at least you weren't like Briar. Poor Briar. He brings it up every time I see him. I got him hospitalized.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Too much play in the sun. That's why this year we're changing things up. But we're straying off topic again. The very first event, I had 13 players show up, and I probably had about $2,500 worth of prizes.
Ooh,
I
nice.
think Robin from SAS actually won like most of them, and he just kept giving them back and saying, pick someone else. Okay.
Yeah. It's always a great
So
player.
at this point in time, I have no prizes for this event, but that's okay because ultimately it's about the players having fun. If they're having fun, then I'm happy. And prizes are great, but prizes shouldn't be the only reason players are coming to events. That's my personal thought on it. I don't know. I could be out to lunch.
I like lunch. So, but no, that does sound like a great game, man. I can't wait. Like I said, should be a blast. Anybody coming out, make sure that you have warm clothes and possibly even a second set of clothes.
Layer up.
Yeah. Well, as Ben mentioned in the comments here, pneumonia's not fun.
No.
So,
No, I've not had it, but I've had really, really, really bad head colds from being out, from snowboarding.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be minus 30 out, and I'll be snowboarding because I'm an idiot. But at the same time, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes, we have fun paintballing, but at the same time, player safety is first. So I'm actually going to try and organize, hot chocolate, coffee.
Nice.
I do suggest if you're wearing gloves or wearing boots of some sort, bring those hot pocket things. Bring those hand warmers that the bags that you break, you snap or whatever. I don't know how they work. Bring
It's
those.
dry chemicals. You mix them together and they create heat. And
There
yeah,
you go.
I've got a nice big bag of a bunch of those. I think I found them at Wholesale Sports before they closed down. You could probably find them at places like Canadian Tire, Bass Pro,
Walmart.
Cabela's, Walmart. Just anywhere like that that's got camping goods. So yeah,
Bring a couple.
yeah,
It's recommended because right now the long-term forecast, I believe, is for a high of -14. Granted, we are still, 3 weeks away. Yeah, 3 weeks, 4 weeks away roughly. But at the same
3 weeks.
time, yeah, 3 weeks. Thanks.
Yeah,
At the same time, if I view it's going to be too cold, or if I feel like not enough players are going to come, I will cancel the event and push it. I've already pushed it once. I'll do it again if I need to, because player safety is key.
and photographer
Unfortunately,
safety.
and photographer safety, because I have a feeling your wonderful wife will be there,
Yes.
like
And,
always.
and I never hear the end of it when she gets hurt on the field taking photos.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
just 4v4 when she rolled her ankle.
Yeah. Love you, honey.
Oops.
But,
Sorry.
so, yeah. So let's, everybody come out, but let's be safe about it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes, I know, Serena. You don't bug me about it. Feel free to. I don't know. Maybe I'll bake you a loaf of banana bread with chocolate chips as a way of saying sorry. Dave, pause off.
no promises. So, but yeah, no, that does sound like a really awesome game. I can't wait to find out more of the storyline that goes with it, and I'm finding storyline is the fun part of writing games. So,
It really is, because I have to now figure out, okay, how does this event end? Do the Blood Eagles or the Werewolves win? And whoever wins, how do I make the next game? So how do I plan for that? So it's a lot of fun. It's a learning process,
yeah.
but at the same time, that's the fun part about it.
Oh, exactly. And heck, if two knuckleheads like us can do it, then just about anybody should be able to do it. So, put together games so that we can come play.
Absolutely. And feel free. If you read up a game and you want to play that game, feel free to ask us to run it for you. I don't mind
Yeah.
sitting on the sidelines and roughing.
I-
Yes, I love to play, and Heather knows this more than anyone else, especially from shooting for a cause last year.
10-second
But
harvest.
at the same, yeah, Daniel, sit down for 10 minutes. Okay, 1, 2, 10, let's go.
But
Really bad injury, and I'm back in the game. No, I want to allow players to have as much fun as I have in the past. I've been to some really well organized games out at Weekend Warriors and some amazingly organized games out at Capture the Flag.
yes.
I've been to one event down at Skyline Nation, and I would love to get there again this year. So, Dave, you and I are going at some point.
Okay.
Maybe with a couple other SAS guys, because the MagFed games are incredible down there. Just games, period, because, you're on pristineness. It's just gorgeous. You hike everywhere.
Nice.
You're basically in a war zone. You don't know where the heck your opponents are. You don't know what's going on. It's fun.
Nice.
So if you have ideas or you write something and you want us to have a look at it, fire it off to us. By all means, hit up TSG or even this page. TSG is the one that we're going to be running all of our events under. And we touched on it. We're doing another 4v4 team event this year. That one is pretty much planned, apart from figuring out how many teams are entered. Um, I'm hoping for more than 4 this year, so we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
And yes, Ben, mag-fed games. I would love to either play and or run a strictly mag-fed game. Thing about that is trying to find enough players for a mag-fed game tends to get a little difficult. I know the
Yeah, we're very
4v4
spread out.
that Dan ran last year was originally meant to be a mag-fed or
Meg
limited
Fed
ammo.
only.
Yeah, and there just wasn't enough people. We had to
We had
change that. So
four, like we had 4 teams. We had 4 teams come out. This year's event is going to be limited ammo again, but I'm opening it up to all classes. But if you are running electro, so like a speedball marker, I am going to ask definitely no ramping because you're going to be out of rounds way too fast. Like
yeah,
200 rounds to last you 10 minutes in some cases. So it's going to be up to the player to play smart. Um, but I am going to try and cap it at 13 balls per second. I think that's what most places cap speedball guns at.
that's not bad.
I'm going to look into that a little bit more. Yeah, 13's pretty good. I mean, I think in my heyday I was doing 23, 24. But 13, you still get a nice amount of paint down range and you still have paint left over. Um, but yes, I would love to do a Meg Fed game. The issue is that we are so spread out.
Yeah,
Um, we've got most of SAS in the Calgary area is Meg Fed. A lot of SAS up in Edmonton area and Grand Prairie are Meg Fed. We've got, I think, Devil's Rejects. Some of them are Meg Fed. We've got Red Hand out of Lethbridge. They're Meg Fed. We've got some Meg Fed guys out of Skyline Nation. Like, we are all over the province.
yeah,
Um, I do know, I believe that Young Guns is going to be doing a Meg Fed only event again this year. They've had some success with it in the past, I believe. That might be their September long weekend event
okay,
too. I'm not 100% sure, but we will be keeping tabs on all the events that do come out. Probably in April, we'll be doing a show just basically listing off the events, where they're at, who's organizing them, what is involved with them, that kind of thing.
yeah.
Um, Quickly, just before we move on to our next thing, Maddie hasn't really given me a date yet, but I do know in April, Silver Creek is doing their annual Silver Creek Cup. All classes are welcome. Doesn't matter your play style. It doesn't matter how much skill you have. You're all welcome to play. So if you have any interest in that, get in touch with Maddie Frost, or just Silver Creek Paintball, Silver Creek Cup. I just wanted to give a little plug to them right now because it's been difficult for them to actually get that that acknowledgement. So good on them for, I think they're going in like 10 years or something like that.
Nice.
Something really good. So
Well,
big
10
kudos
years
to
is
them.
big in paintball.
Absolutely.
Just about anything I find when you start to reach that 10-year mark, that's kind of the make or break. Either things have died right off and it's hard to keep it going, or that's when it starts picking up. So here's hoping that it's more of the latter than the former. So
Ben, when it comes to the mill sim scenario idea, um, that is kind of what we're going for with our huge event that we're planning for next year.
yes,
Or if we can do it, maybe in October of this year, September, October this year, most likely next year. Um, Again, more information will come on that one as it becomes available. I believe we have found the field for it. We
fingers
just need to go
crossed.
and
Yeah,
meet with the owners. Yeah, fingers crossed. So, Ben, you might see Dave and I up in your neck of the woods on a big game. Come and say hi. And no keeling over from heat stroke this time, please.
preferably.
Hydrate.
Um, but yeah, with the Milsim scenario, I don't mean to steal your thunder here, Dan, but
Yeah, no
the
worries.
game that I'm planning for April uh, is very Milsim styled. So, like I said, in order not to steal thunder from Dan, I'm going to hold off on putting out too much of the information I have.
Yeah, it's still
Uh,
3 months away.
yeah.
2
So
months
that
away.
one will be in April. Um, but yeah, so we'll be putting out more on that one as it gets closer.
There's lots of fun to be had.
Oh, exactly.
We've got, well, I mean, heck, we've got 2 events planned so far. We've got 2 more to go after that, at
Yeah.
least, for the Winter's Hunt event.
Yeah.
Oh,
Plus shooting,
the
plus.
plus shooting, the 4v4.
Yeah. So.
Oy vey, it's going to be a busy season.
You say that like it's a bad thing. So, I can't wait.
eh,
So.
it's going to be. I know for me, it's going to be a very busy season because like I said, I've got this event, plus I've got 2 more to plan,
Yeah.
plus the 4v4 to run. And hopefully, if I've got enough teams, I'll have you helping me. Well, I think you're going to help me
Oh,
anyway
yeah.
this year.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
plan. So.
and then who knows? Fingers crossed. We'll see. Maybe 1 or 2 more events from you planned.
Yeah.
Plus all the big games that CTF puts on. Anyway, Gun Owner Day is at Bragg Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, we got a
I
ton of
think
stuff to hit up. So.
I could be playing once or twice a month.
Again, you say it like
It's
a bad
going to
thing.
be busy. Oh, it's
Yeah.
not a bad thing at all. Except my wife might get a little mad at me for disappearing every weekend.
Stole
Oops.
my wallet.
Hey, if we take one vehicle, I'll pitch for gas. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. So, but yeah, no,
Or if we take my car, we can get from one end of the province to the other in one tank of gas, and it's only $40.
yeah, mine costs a little more than $40. Granted, I can
Yeah, I know.
fit more of our gear into my truck than in your car.
Yeah, yeah. The joys of having a Micra.
So, but as a very rough segue, oh, and Serena says that you're paying for coffee too, apparently.
Fine, I think I've got enough free coffees for McDonald's to last me half a year. So
That's not too bad. So, but yeah, moving on to the other half of our show here tonight, talking about all of the places we plan to go and everything else. One of the issues you run into is scams in paintball.
unfortunately,
Yeah. So this story kind of comes about because, as some people may or may not know, I work security in a mall and was walking around on my break, and lo and behold, we had a booth set up, and they were trying to sell tickets to one of the local paintball fields. Both this kiosk and field we're going to leave unnamed. They called me over and started giving me the rundown of how great their deal was, not knowing that I'm a regular player who's been around the scene for as long as I have. Started telling me how, oh yeah, you get 10 tickets here, but you're only really paying for 2, and so it's $90 for 10 tickets. And I'm like, okay, make it out to that field 10 times in a year. That's a little iffy because, to the best of my knowledge, the tickets do expire. And so,
and there's only like 2 locations in Alberta.
yeah. And so I took in the information with a grain of salt because I'm familiar with this company and not a fan personally. I get back to my desk and I did a little bit of research, and I found out that when you've got these tickets, yeah, you can go out, and it's great if you've got a bunch of your buddies with you and you go out as a group. It works out to $9 a person to get out to the field. But then you got to buy your paint. And paint was something ridiculous, like 100 rounds for $15. I can normally spend $25 and get 500 rounds out at CTF. And so, out of curiosity, I called up the field and I asked them, I'm like, everything on your website shows me what it costs to come out and play as a renter. I've got all my own gear. What is that going to cost me? And it dropped from $35 marked on the website compared to the $45 tickets that they were trying to sell me down to like $20. Field fees when I go to most places are like $10. So either way you look at it, I'm spending about $35 between field fees and paint. But I get 400 more rounds out at CTF than I would at this field. Plus, looking at the field, I'm getting larger fields, fields that you can connect and play across multiple fields. The better deal, in all honesty, is where I already play. What they were trying to sell me was a used car. If you're buying a used car, do your research.
Yeah. I think that's the best analogy for it.
Yeah. Like, in all honesty, that's really the moral of the story here is if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Do your research.
Yeah, and it goes especially for the BST pages, even on Kijiji, any of the buy and sell pages for designated specifically for paintball, or your local like Calgary buy and sell BST, buy sell trade, Cochrane buy sell trade, Edmonton buy sell trade. If you don't know the person that you're buying from, or you don't know the history of the marker, especially if it's a marker, do a legitimate check.
Yeah.
Just post on the page, go, hey, legit check on so-and-so. I sold an ETHA to a gentleman out in Nova Scotia, probably about 4 years ago now. And he did a legit check on me. I did a legit check on him. Everything panned out. He got his marker. I got my money. And you still hear all these horror stories, and you read all these posted conversations about how this guy sent this thing and didn't get any money, or this guy paid the money and never got the marker, or the marker comes in completely horrible condition. I remember the worst one I think I read was the shell was taped together with duct tape. Black duct tape, because the screws were stripped. There were no internals. He essentially paid, I think it was like $600 for the shell of a T-15. Like, seriously, dude, come on. How the hell, and sorry for my language on this one, how the hell do you do something that slimy? Like, that to me is like, okay, let's get a mob together and let's go beat someone down, because that is not how we're supposed to do business as players in the paintball industry. It's bad enough that, we've got markers that aren't functioning properly from the manufacturers that we're paying $700, $800, $900 for. And all of a sudden this dude's like, oh yeah, I've got a brand new T15. Here's everything it comes with. Send me cash. You send him cash via your PayPal. He takes it out. PayPal can't do anything for you after that. And he sends you a shell with 0 mags.
Yeah.
A cracked barrel. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. So, and you really got to be careful what you're buying off of those BST sites, Kijiji and eBay and all of that fun stuff. Working in the industry I do speak with cops on a regular basis, and they've straight up told me a lot of the stuff you find on those websites is stolen. So, that's the first place they suggest that people who have had items stolen is to look. And you don't want to be, out at a field and running around with your new to you marker, and meanwhile somebody comes up to you and starts accusing you of being the one who stole it.
Exactly. That has happened, actually.
Yeah.
At several games I was at. I did security, like Dave does now. The only difference is I did security at a hospital. But I still worked very closely with the RCMP. They actually came to me with a bunch of information about stolen paintball gear. And we're like, hey, do you know anyone who might be looking for this? Because we found all this gear stolen, like in some drug-used vehicle. I'm like, oh yeah, that belongs to so-and-so. Like,
Yeah.
and Chris mentioned it on his comments, information is key.
It really is.
If you have anything stolen, let the community know.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing sales from Canada to China, or not China, but Canada to Russia, US to Germany. Like, we are seeing international sales. So if you have a really nice setup, say you've got an LV 1.2, I think that's still relevant. I don't know, or 1.5. There we go, an LV 1.5. If you have an LV 1.5, $2,300 gun or whatever it is, and it gets stolen, and it goes up for $800, gone.
Yeah.
Speedballers will snap that up because they know it's a good deal. And if they meet with the person and it's in good working condition, you'll never see it again.
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's videos of this person shooting the marker, and, they've got a box for it or a receipt for it. Like, I know a guy, he bought what was it? It was a SAR 12. He bought a SAR 12, brand new in box, receipt still on the box. His truck got broken into because he was stupid and left it out in plain view in the back of his truck, like in the back seat of his truck at a mall. That gun was sold probably over to like Germany or down to the States hours later. Like, it was gone. And he was pretty ticked at himself. We've all seen the kiosks for the people selling tickets. I went to the movies last week, and there were a bunch of kids going, well, who is this company? And I knew full well who they were, but I wasn't really going to say anything to these kids because, unfortunately, sometimes you have to learn the hard way. But a lot of times, this company and other companies are saying, oh, hey, you can use these tickets at these fields because we own them. No.
They might have an agreement with them, but they don't own them.
Even then, they won't have an agreement with most fields because most fields don't print tickets. They have memberships.
Yeah. So, a lot of this is just going to come down to buyer beware. Do your research and, use that thing inside your head.
That's why we got it.
Yeah.
Common sense isn't common anymore. If we use it, it makes us special.
Common sense is so rare, it's a superpower.
Oh, man. Does that mean I'm a superhero like once a day?
No.
Damn it. Super Dan to the rescue. I haven't had
Special
any
Dan.
coffee today. It's been a hard day. Does anyone watching have questions for us?
Or stories.
Or
stories.
Yeah, or stories. Please, if you have questions about Winter's Hunt, please ask.
Yes.
Or the 4v4. Do not, I repeat, do not ask about our event next year because that is still being planned. And we actually spilled the beans last episode, so no.
Now they'll just go watch this last week's episode again.
Yeah, but that's more hits for us, so who cares?
Again, shh, don't say that. So.
Well, Ben, you are special. Of course you're special. Come on. What other Frenchie could move to Edmonton and enjoy it? There's a reason I moved out. um, I think I do have to mention that for your event,
Oh yes, go ahead.
I have been asked to be one of the commanding officers. So I'm the commanding officer of Alpha Team. I believe that's what you're calling
Task
it.
Force Alpha.
Task Force Alpha, thank you. So essentially, we are the elite of the elite when it comes to government, military training, and technology, and yada yada. I need come join me. Essentially, it's basically turning out to be SAS versus Alberta Kill Team, which is going to be fun. Our friend Rick from Alberta, or Cochrane Kill Team, I should say, as he's calling it, is the other leader, the other commander.
He's the kingpin.
He's the kingpin of the syndicate. So I need people on my side so that I can gladly kick my friend's tush and rub his face in it, hopefully. But again, if we end up doing SAS versus other teams, it is going to be a gentleman-like sport. Please, no throwing fists. I don't want to have to sit on you, because I will. I'm
This
not
is
a light
paintball.
guy.
Use the paintballs.
Yes,
That's what they're for.
absolutely. We definitely don't want any shenanigans, apart from, maybe following Brad's idea and just having some random shenanigans on the field.
Shenanigans are good.
Absolutely. That's why the final game is a complete secret, because I have some shenanigans planned. It is going to be epic.
Yes. I have a secret twist for my game as well that shall only be revealed to select few on game day. So, from there, if it gets disseminated, then that's its
This is why people are gonna love coming to our events, because they're just gonna be like, shenanigans and surprise twist, and people are gonna go, what the hell?
Let's face it, we're kind of all about the shenanigans. So, I think that just comes with being paintballers. Are you seeing comments I'm not seeing?
Yes, Roman Mechanics has asked, just a quick step back to the ticket subject.
Yes.
If somebody buys a set of those, are they not valid at our fields, example CTF? My understanding is that they are not valid at CTF unless they are purchased from CTF.
Yeah, for exact information on that, I would say contact CTF. They are open all year long. Yeah.
Rick would definitely be able to answer those questions. I do know that if you buy the ticket books that schools sell, I believe there are some tickets in there. But any of those kiosks, if they say that they own CF or that the tickets can be used there, I have heard in the past Eric say no, they cannot. So just for more information on that, if they would definitely contact the fields and find out if tickets are valid there. Most tickets will also say valid at, and it'll give you, the couple fields that they will be valid at. So that is definitely a really good question, Roman. Thank you for asking it.
Yes. Yeah, so with any of these, if you're wanting to find out the information, go to the source, contact the fields. Most of them, the kiosk is going to be around for a few days. If you feel pressured into a sale, chances are that's not a good thing.
Yeah, especially if they approach you as you're walking past, like, "Hey, buddy, you look like you'd enjoy this," and they kind of force themselves upon you.
That's that used car salesman thing again.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, going back to what Chris said, information is key. So if you feel like, hey, I kind of want to get this, and you've got your phone with you, give the field a call. I do know Bragg Creek is only reachable in off season through Emma on Facebook, I believe,
Okay.
because they are closed. Um, or you might be able to call Paintball Action Games in Edmonton, since both fields are essentially linked. I believe that's how that works, and they would be able to let you know. Paintball Action Games does have the indoor. That's where Nationals is being played at. And I believe that's coming up this weekend, or that was last month. Yeah, Nats was last month. So congrats to anyone who played and won, and hooray!
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry I didn't follow it very well this year. Normally I do. And yes, the SATB books are generally the only ones that are going to be legit in my eyes, unless they are purchased through the field.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for asking that, Roman. Anyone else have questions? Oh, just quickly, Ben had mentioned a super game
Yeah, I saw that.
in Oregon. I myself don't know anything about the super game in Oregon. I do know. Oh, hold on. I do know a lot about Oklahoma D-Day. That has
Those
been
are
on
good
my
guys.
bucket list.
Yes.
Those are great guys.
I've
That's
actually
been on
talked
my
to
bucket
them.
list for years.
Yes. Regarding the secret hush hush don't tell nobody game. Um, it's with that one I actually took the steps of contacting the Oklahoma D-Day guys to get advice from them about running the secret hush hush don't tell nobody game. So hopefully that will come in handy in helping out with that one.
I have a feeling it will.
Yeah.
That and the people that we have in the planning committee are going to make this thing epic. I have
Yes.
a feeling about that. And we've already got some sponsors lined up for it, so we're going to keep everything hush hush.
Yes.
We'll start calling the game Operation Surprise.
Something like that. We'll call that a work
You'll
in
get to the
progress.
field, we'll just say, Surprise!
Surprise! There's no game. Go home. No, I'm kidding. I'm all about shenanigans, but not like that.
Yeah, apparently SAS was given an invite. Well, SAS Canada was invited by some SAS there. That would be awesome. And if you have any more information regarding it, or can find some of those messages from Heather, feel free to post them, or more information, because I think a lot of us would be interested in knowing more about it.
Are we back to talking about the Oregon game or the D-Day game?
The Oregon game.
There we go. Thank you.
Yes, sorry about that. I do know D-Day. I think they're capping it at about 5,000 players now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so.
I
I'm
would
not
assume
entirely sure.
insurance reasons and such. So
I
I'm
mean,
just
come
making
on,
a general guess. But
you've got helicopters, you've got tanks, you've got deuce and a half troop carriers. Come on, it's like every paintballer's dream,
yes,
without getting creepy.
too late. But yeah, Ben, if you've got more information on that super game, feel free to post a link in the comments there. It'd be greatly appreciated. So that way everybody can find it. So
Absolutely. Just getting back to Winter's event this month. I'm going to be capping the minimum at 20 players coming. I know 10 on 10 isn't exactly the most fun way of playing it, but it would
works for me.
still allow me to. It kind of kicks my side missions down. But I do need 10 players minimum each team. So everyone who can make it, please come. Because hopefully it's going to be a fun event. And hopefully it's the first of many events that I end up planning under TSG. I can't believe where TSG has come since my 4v4 last season.
Yes.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. So again, if you're trying to look that one up, Tactical Supremacy Games, I believe is what it's labeled as.
Yeah.
So yeah, come track us down. Feel free to pitch us your ideas for games you want to play in, and we'll see how we can work that into games we can run. So
Absolutely. And if we do end up using some of your ideas, we will actually give you credit for it.
Oh,
We're
definitely.
not going to say, "Oh yeah, we came up with this all by ourselves." No,
No. So,
absolutely not. We're not going to steal games. We're not going to steal
no.
ideas. If you legitimately come up with an idea that is freaking wicked and people love it, or we love it and we decide to use it in the game, or we love your entire thing and make a game around it, we're going to say created by, hosted by.
Yeah.
So don't worry, credit will come where it is due.
Yes. We're in this for, helping to grow the sport and put something out there that's going to draw new players, that's going to draw old players, that's going to draw whoever. We're not in it for the credit. You know, if
We're not
nobody
in
knows
it
my
to
name
get
at the end
rich.
of the day, I'm quite happy with that. So,
Oh man, if someone knows who I am just by seeing me on the field, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm famous. No, I really don't care about being famous.
no.
I do this for the love of the sport. I've been playing again since like 2000. I'm newer to it than Dave is, but at the same time, it has been
Yeah.
something that has allowed me to um, get through a lot of hard things. Um, so, absolutely, this is why we do it. If we wanted to get rich, I don't think we'd be doing it by organizing paintball games
No.
or doing a podcast on Western Canada paintball
No.
because
Because
really
both of
there's
those
no
are we
money
do
to
for
it.
free.
Absolutely.
In all honesty, the games we're putting on through Tactical Supremacy, we're not asking for anything extra on the side for ourselves. Um,
Nothing.
the money you pay to come to any of those games covers the field fees that the field has to charge you. That's part of their insurance and everything else. And that's the paint or the cost that covers your paint, which is what the field charges. That none of that comes to us. We're just the guys who put together a game and ask the field if we can hold it there. So,
Yep. We just have fun. That's our goal.
exactly. And we try to
Is
make
to
it so
have
that you
fun.
guys can have fun too. So,
Yeah, and if we don't, if we're not, if you guys aren't having fun, we're not doing our job. So, especially with our podcast, if you want to see something in particular, let us know. We can't do anything specific unless you do. So again, information is key. Give us all your information. Like if you want us to do a podcast on a specific field, we'll get in touch with that field, or we'll get in touch with players. We'll get in touch with teams. We'll get in touch with event organizers. We will have them on the show, and we will do an entire show with them, getting the information that you guys want.
yep. The more interaction
Um,
you guys have with us, the better it makes the show for everybody. And it also makes our lives a little easier. So,
Absolutely.
so
Sure.
but like
We
last
both
month
know
we
I have a
had
hard time
Brad.
coming
So
up with questions. Yeah,
yes, yes, you
absolutely.
do.
It was a 1 o'clock show for him, but he still had guys.
Yeah.
And sorry, Brad, if you're watching or if you do watch this, we're very sorry. We'll try and have an early show for you at some point. Maybe
Next time we
we'll
won't
be
keep you up past your bedtime.
nice to him, and we'll start show at 6 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock his. I think that's how that
10
works.
o'clock.
10 o'clock
6
his.
hours
Okay,
till
so
10 his, which would be a lot easier on the poor guy. So,
absolutely. I think he sent me a message saying that he had to have like 12 coffees or something like that, and he still wasn't awake. So,
oh, yeah.
and he had an event I think that weekend too.
Oh, ouch. Now I feel
Yeah, I
bad.
can't quite remember.
So, yeah, if you guys are interested, head on over to Maritime Milsim and tell him lots of love from the Western Canada guys. So,
Yeah, tell him sorry for us.
so
I don't know. We're a little evil.
a little bit. Well, we can't exactly help the
Just
whole
a
time difference thing.
little.
That's not our fault.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Um, what else? Yeah, just ask us questions, fire us emails, interact with us. Everyone who's talking in the chat. Thank you very much. You brought up good points. You brought up good information.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that Chris said that Nationals was last month, last
Okay.
weekend, I believe is what he said.
Ah.
Um, he also says the Super Game's awesome. Lots of guys from BC go to it. Um, so yeah, I mean, heck, there's. Oh, look at that! Odell's watching. Hey, Odell. Hey, Matt. There is so much going on, and we can't possibly cover all of it ourselves. So if you guys send us information, that is awesome. We try and follow as many fields as possible, as many events as possible, so that we can relay that information to you. That is the whole point of us being here, is that we give you guys information about what's going on in Western Canada. So in BC, there is an event. Unfortunately, it's a little late notice. February 11th, they're doing an event. It's their first of the season. We tried having them on last year. We're going to try and have them on again this year. They put on about 5 events a year.
Yeah.
I only found out about this event just like a couple days ago, and it was posted in the Metro Vancouver, or the Vancouver MegFed Association group, which I was very honored to have been invited to last year. So if any of those guys are watching, shout out to our BC boys, and to you, Chris. To Heather and those in the north, please be careful.
Uh-oh.
40 centimeters of snow more set to come for you guys, unfortunately. Everyone in the Edmonton area, be careful as well. You're expecting a lot of snow.
We're having some technical difficulties here, Dan. I'm being told by the Facebooks that apparently our feed has gotten interrupted.
Oh,
So,
well, that's not fun.
yeah, we are just shy of an hour though. So if anybody is still able to see us, thanks for joining us. And I think we're going to have
Yes.
to call it here due to technical difficulties. It just wouldn't be one of our shows without the gremlins. So, thanks for your time, and everybody have a good night.
Absolutely. Take her easy, guys.